What is going on, guys? Big Ride coming at you with the NFL Week 11 Monday Night Football game between the New York Football Giants and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. YouTube's still all messed up on me, so I'm really struggling putting these streams together, but we're gonna get there soon. What's going on, Jackson? How you doing tonight? Here we go. Let's do that. All right, I think that's pretty good. All right, let's take a look and see what the market's looking like tonight. Curious how many bets this game has. I'm doing well, Jackson. What's going on, Mud? How you doing tonight? What kind of props are you on tonight, Mud? Pretty even percentage of bets and percentage of money on the spread for this game, and 67,000 bets. So we're looking at 70 to 75,000 bets for this one. What was the final score last night? Was it 40-37? 41-37. 7-41. Let's add that to the list. You got a bunch. You've got first touchdown Evans, Jones, and Giants defense. Giants plus 11.5 and the under 49.5. All right. Let's see if there's any market plays. There's a slight market play for the Giants just based off the spread percentage of money at 11.5, but I don't think I'm going to bet this one. I think I'm just going to watch this one as a fan. And the percentage, based off the percentage of money, it's also saying to take the Giants money line, but not the percentage of bets. It's saying that it's not a good play either way as far as the percentage goes on the money line. So I'm just going to leave this one. I'm just going to, barring any crazy things happening over the next 12 minutes or so, I'm just going to stay on that. But thanks to you, Mud, I've got a few things to cheer for. The over-under killed me this week. I think I was like 0-6. I've got I lost 5 OU bets in a row, but I've won 6 straight spread bets, so it all evens out in the end. Fat Guy should be here shortly. I'm interested to hear what, if any, side he's on. It's funny how that is, Mud. Like, I think we were really strong in the contest too, but betting-wise, I probably lost like half a unit this week. What's going on, Josh? How you doing tonight? It's much better to be bad in the contest and good with your bets, let's be honest. Hit both your college football plays on Saturday and then 3-1 on Sunday. Nice. So 5-1. You can't complain with that. That's pretty good. Oh, the line's shifted from Giants plus 11.5 down to plus 11 as I'm watching right now. But heavy juice on the Giants at plus 11. So it might even come down to 10.5. Oh, the line just came down. Oh, it's back up. Plus 11 minus 120. So it stayed down for half a second. Any bets tonight, Josh? I just realized I haven't posted the betting market info in the Discord, so I'll do that right now. I see we've got Fat Guy joining us now.
He's a total moron. Oh, hello.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
Got a hot mic.
Oh, what? Why? It wasn't talking about you.
And we can hear you. I was motivational before the stream for Fat Guy. I know he appreciated it.
He pumped me up. I want to pump you up.
Is that from Arnold? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did like a kid's thing. You see the kid that kicked him in the back?
Kicked Arnold Schwarzenegger in the back?
Yeah, you never seen that?
I'm going to look it up right now. There was a SNL skit, Hans and Franz.
Yes.
I want to pump you up. So I don't know if it was a joke on that or... So Arnold...
Well, maybe it is that.
Schwarzenegger getting kicked in the back.
Yes.
I'll mute this, but I'll show it because... Oh, I'll get it up here eventually.
Well, they call him a suspect in one of these.
Oh,
mind you,
that's pretty bad. That's... Why would you do, like... I get that for the rest of your life you can say, I drop-kicked Arnold Schwarzenegger in the back, but... It's one of those things, too, to, like... Don't you feel like that guy's going to barely get in trouble?
I'm not going to get into it.
That's pretty bad, man. It's a weird thing to do. It's like...
It is weird.
It's definitely weird. We have pretty even betting market for this Giants Bucks game as far as percentage of bets on the spread and the money. Sorry, on the spread as far as percentage of bets and percentage of money. But money line percentage, there's a lot more money on the Giants tonight, which is interesting. 40% of bets, despite being 20% chance to pull off the win as far as the odds makers are concerned. So best result for the books is essentially just a Tampa Bay win.
Yeah.
As well as the under. What's the best result for you?
Let me look here. I have the Giants technically as if I pick them. I don't know what the best number is.
So people came to you saying they like Tampa tonight. Spread or money line?
Spread.
Yeah.
People tend to not. Looks like 10.
At 10?
Giants losing by 10 would probably be the best result.
Okay.
Giants outright winning, I guess, would be, I don't know. Giants losing by 10, that's really it. But I mean, like, Giants cover is good.
I think that's what most people are going to be cheering for in our comments section tonight.
Yeah, I hate the Giants so much, but that's a good sign I'm betting on the right side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The more I hate, but my hatred's a little bit different. Like, oh, hate's a strong word. No, I actually hate the Giants. I hate them. You know, there was a time when I didn't. It's this iteration.
Say you dislike their coaching.
Yes.
You dislike their
management style.
The roster makeup. Like,
I don't like that at all.
You don't actually hate them though. Like hate's a pretty strong word.
You don't know my feelings.
I don't. So elaborate. Let's get into this. What's
Hate. I'm allowed to hate on them. I'm allowed to.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, they're just they couldn't be built worse in my opinion. Like for my ideal team, so like you have to use a scale, and they're on the hate level. They are. They don't have a hype train with them, which is the only thing. And I don't even mind Daniel Jones. I don't hate Saquon Barkley as a person. I don't know him. He could be a really nice guy. However, though, the whole idea of how to make up a team, it's just god awful. Mind you, they did take a tack. They have addressed the offensive line. That's the only I'll call it silver lining. And I guess you know what? Now that I'm reflecting, maybe I have dialed down the hate from 11. Right? Is the defensive line they've also addressed. It hasn't worked out, but there was some attempts there. But I don't know. The skill position stuff I can't stand. The coach is just a complete moron. So there's that. Oh, I had that link up and now I don't. That's so annoying.
Andy Dalton's expected to start for the Bears.
Good.
On Thursday.
I like my chances at a cover.
Sterling Shepard, fullback Cullen Gillespie is inactive, as well as Nate Ebner, Oshani Zimenez, the outside linebacker, Lorenzo Carter, Wes Martin, Caden Smith. Kadarius Toney and Kelly Dolladay should be expected to step up versus Tampa Bay's pass funnel defense. Saquon Barkley is active. Devontae Booker was listed as questionable, but he's also active. Gronkowski's active.
St. Louis Blues played? Are they playing right now?
I can take a look for you if you'd like. Josh Allen's asking for your power rankings, fat guy.
I don't really like doing that kind of thing. I gotta be honest. Do you have closing odds on the Blues game?
I can look.
I know, what a great time to bring it up, fat guy. Great. I'm not big into power rankings. I would say the Colts are in the top 7, I'd say. So, we used to be really into it because we did use it as modeling. I just think our betting model, there's just two ways. There's two ways of gambling on football that are effective. There's a top-down approach and the bottom-up. Bottom-up approach is modeling based. I find that to be the worst of the two, although the more satisfying of the two, just because it's harder. Because nowadays modeling, to a degree, will have to incorporate some sort of artificial intelligence, and it's very labor intensive because a model is only as good as your inputs, right? And the inputs are a lot harder to achieve in today's modeling. 10 years ago, you could make a model. We did. That worked. We did. Big Ryan and I did. Now I don't know if you can. And the problem is you have to be a tinkerer and you have to adjust. So it's just really difficult. And what modeling ends up doing is creating power ratings, which create hypothetical spreads and stuff like that, right? So it's just really difficult. One of the oversights I'd say, a weakness in our modeling was travel and home field advantage. We spent less time on that. I think our player evaluations were pretty good, but I detest that now because it's a lot of work for very little payoff. And the sick thing about doing a lot of work in gambling is that when you do it, it doesn't necessarily pay off. You can have positive expected value all day, but you can still have a losing spell. That's why it's kind of mind numbing. And it's one of those things that actually gets to me. I can handle losses with the best of them, but when you put in that much work, you end up being more reactive. And I think it's just not really meant for a human. That's why AI modeling is exciting. Now, the other side is the top. I know you just asked about power rankings, but I had to go in this spiel. The top down approach is kind of making market plays, that sort of thing. Trying to figure out where smart money is going to be ahead of time. Beating the closing line, that's a top-down approach. So I've focused my efforts more on that, and we have some things in the background, even some, we have some Python projects in the background that are going to adhere to that type of because it's more sustainable too. And the one thing about beating the closing line and why I like that is the closing line gets more efficient every year for the most part. There's still dumb money, right? But for the most part. So if you're beating that closing line, which should be the pinnacle of efficiency, funny how I use the word pinnacle, it's a good metric going forward rather than like have to guesstimate your edge, which is another thing when you model. It's really, 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 really hard is figuring out like your advantage because you never really know. And then you have to like derive your unit sizing from that theoretical advantage if you even have one, right? Which is a whole nother thing. And that's another thing too. You can mess with a model forever and still not actually like come up with the secret sauce, right? And when you do, it doesn't, like I said, you have to tinker with it. It's just mind-numbingly difficult, and that's why I refrain from power rankings. So just never that simple. Sorry, I went on a tangent, but it just, you know, I could lie.
You're being as honest as you can about it.
I could lie.
It's so much. It's like incredible how much work it is for the risk that you take on, because there's a chance that you can do all this work and lose. Like you're actually
or
more
you're
likely.
bad. You do all this work and your inputs just aren't that good, right? Because it's not like there's a manual that says you do X, Y, and Z. Yeah. You have to come up with a series of angles, and if one of them is way less off, if one of them is way off, that's it. Your model is a losing product, right? And it's just, I don't know. I feel like that's a lot to bear for a human being. You know what I mean? And we would know. We've done it. Our first model, which I would say was pretty good, was
we'd spend like 3, 4, 5 hours a day
every day though
on it. Yeah, it was.
And then talking
intense.
about it. How many hours did we put in that summer between me and you?
A lot. Like
that was three months.
Our entire summer was dedicated to that.
Every day we did. I don't even think we took a day off. I honestly don't even think we did. Maybe like we took lighter days. We didn't just pound the numbers, but we were at least fantasizing about the whole time. It worked. I'm going to be honest. It worked. That was a 2009 season, I believe, but it got worse every year, and we weren't prepared to. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not like you make it to the peak of the mountain and then you just look up and there's another peak the next year, right? And you know, for me, that just was overwhelming eventually, right? So
that's why I don't.
Yeah. Hello, guys. Sorry.
What's going on, Jamie? Good evening, and hey, Mickey. I am ready for some football.
Why do I even have to go into tangents? Yeah, you have.
No, it's so interesting. Like I find that very interesting. I don't know if Chad agrees, but it's just honest, right?
Well, I wish you could just like it would be simpler. Do you know what I mean? But the one thing about modeling though that I gave all these negative things about it. Here's a positive thing. A good model, a really good model will beat a top-down approach, a market play all day. The problem is
a well executed.
Yeah, model. And there's probably like like 60 that are probably any good, probably in the United States. Yeah, that's my guess. Out of the thousands, tens of thousands, it's hard to say, but that would be my guess. There's probably the same amount of serial killers in the United States. They say 65 that there is really good models. So that's one of my gripes about it. But then again, the sports betting community, they call them originators when you have a really good model, and that's a pretty good like tag, right? You're not only would you get the kudos, but you're going to make lots of money, and you'd also get to influence the market, right? I would love to be able to pull that off. I don't think I got it in me anymore. I really, really don't, despite having, to be honest, extensive knowledge on the subject. There's too many math things that are too complicated now for even me, so I have to kind of brush up on it. Mickey and I were discussing that the other day about like the level of math, if you really want to get into it, gets to a high level. The last time I took a complex math course was 2006. So like, and how applicable would it have been? That's another thing too about math and university math. How applicable is it, Big Rye? It's not like you haven't been.
I've used
the subject.
I've used it, but it's
yes,
few and far between, right? Like it's an art because you have to have that technical knowledge, and then you have to be able to apply it in real world situations that are unique usually, and never, I'm sure they've been done before, but it's not like people are on the internet saying, hey, this is how
No,
you do
going
it.
and telling you, right? And even the internet's 99% bad information. Another thing too is like, even think of most of our solutions are guerrilla street ideas that I've put out there, and then you found a way to translate into actual product. Like, it's just how it is. Man, these
Tampa,
guys look huge, eh?
yeah, it's just the camera is so close. The Tampa's been dicing them with these outside runs to start this game.
Well, that's a good news for Tampa winning in the over or the under, I'd say. Man, Byron Leftwich looks like he's in good shape, man. Maybe they should have him suit up as backup quarterback.
He's probably doing the TB12 stuff.
Yeah, I got to breadcrumb you a bit, Mickey. You know, you have the bug, Mickey. You have the bug in terms of the process, because that's the part that's always enamored me more than anything. Than making a buck. I mean, it's led to some money. Let's be honest here, but like, more or less, like that's just me being smarter than the average Joe I come across on a day-to-day basis. Oh man, and that looks so easy, and they have all of that. Cameron's 10 pounds. Yeah, more like 60.
Yeah, if you add 60 pounds to me, I might die. This
He's
drive,
not set though. It's interesting there. Like, they're never set. That's a hold too on 84. Is that Gronk?
Cameron Brate. The I don't know. It looked fine to me. That drive just looked. It just looked so easy altogether.
Dude, I love when they kick like that weird follow through, and it kind of like waddles the ball a little bit.
Yeah, and then it's just like super true. Like
Yeah,
after.
exactly. Kind of like when you see like a guy who actually knows how to golf, which is very few. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't see it very often. Bucks look pissed, said Mickey. Yeah, that first drive was like almost military-esque. And that's not a pun because they kept the ball on the ground and close to the line of scrimmage. I gotta pull up the live line for this game and see what's happened with the Hurley.
The Bucks minus 20 now. The court of public opinion will get swayed big time on that type of drive.
Yeah, 14. The juice is still on the Giants at 14. What's going on, Jake?
Jake Jacobs, former champion. Hello, sir. Oh yeah, I better put in some to my sheet.
Man. Unfortunately, the site that we've used to historically get data is still busted, so I can't find any odds on the Blues. I saw like an opening line from Regal at minus 130, and I like.
Scores and odds will work well enough.
Yeah.
For that, I just thought you might have had one handy.
Unfortunately, I did not.
So it's like it's nice though when you get messages and you just auto accept them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sure. And then I just look at the time and then I can match it up. 3:38. So eventually, I know a very easy solution for this. 157.
Who has what in the contest tonight? Let's take a look. I'm going to take a look at the standings first because I'm guessing you're near the top if you're asking. I think that's a safe assumption.
You are.
Oh, it's a three-way tie between Jackson, Mussman, and Untouchable J. So I'll I'll bring up who each has and what the OU is.
St. Louis.
All of you have the Giants, so it doesn't matter who wins. So let's see what the OU implications are. Actually, it makes it super interesting because that means that people can catch up from behind.
There any Tampas with one win less?
Here we go. I've got it here. So there's only one Tampa with less wins, and that's Colty Boy.
That guy's crushing this year.
Yep. So if Tampa covers and the OU is exactly 49, Colty Boy wins. If the score is 51 or higher, Jay wins, no matter who wins.
Wow. That's pretty cool. But Jay just needs an over here.
And the live
Mickey,
OU,
there had to be a week. There had to be a bad week.
The live OU is 54, so Jay is right now the favorite to win.
Okay, let's take it a step further. How likely is how big of a key number is 49?
It's the most key number, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Colty Boy doing work then, eh?
Let me just confirm.
How do you get to 49?
Sorry. No, it isn't.
48 is, right?
51 is the most key number. So actually, Untouchable J is the one putting in the work.
Oh, Untouchable J, I got it.
49
Josh,
is
yeah, that's not a key number. Like what?
It's up there. It's there's so much more range with the over under than there is with spreads. Like 49 is a 2%er and 51's a 4%er. So
it's twice as likely.
Yeah, it's still very.
I know it's not. You can't. Yeah.
But the chance of getting 51 or higher right now is like it's got to be. It's got to be like, well, it's whatever 51, 52, 53, 54 is. It's almost 10%. So he's probably at Jay, you're probably at like 60% chance to win right now.
All right. Now, Josh Allen, as far as Golladay regretting it, I don't think so when you're counting 72 million all the way to the bank. No one has to enjoy work. That was a hold, I think. What was the penalty on? We were talking about Jay's good number selection. I like stuff like that when guys have the right number. I mean, maybe part of it was luck. Maybe he did the work. I don't know.
Let's I'll do some screen sharing. Make us. Let's do that. Oh, I can highlight here. We're 9-5 this week. And we've got the Giants too, so it would be a fortunate win for us if the Giants are able to cover.
I always put in work. All right. That's why Jake Jacobs is a champion, both off the mattress and on it. And they go empty here. I hate this.
I feel like quite a few teams just go, oh, we're not going to be able to run on them, so.
Well, how about the threat? You know what I mean? Like, it's not whether you have to have the ability, like the capability. This is saying we are not running it.
Yep.
Unless the quarterback's
Daniel
taking
Jones
it off.
is the most dangerous runner on this team.
Well, I'm not going to go that
He
far.
is.
But...
He really is.
Like Saquon Barkley, he might not be up to muster lately, but
yeah, but it's like the whole thing, right? Like
an opportunity
on a passing play, if there's room, like Daniel Jones is going to pick up more yards than Saquon is on a majority of his runs.
designed run. Yeah, that's true. But that's every quarterback, though.
It is
almost.
It's more just like a kudos. Like Daniel Jones is one of the better running quarterbacks in the league. Like he really is. He's had a lot of success, a lot of big plays with his feet.
Dude, how about Herbert yesterday?
We had the chance to watch that game together.
Dude, they got to watch out, man. When that guy pieces it together, watch out. Watch out. They're not going to be able to make spreads high enough with that team.
With the Price is Right rules, Jake, I always used to put 1. But when it's closest to the pin now, 1 doesn't really make sense. Dimes has wheels, says Mickey.
You always put 1. It doesn't even make sense. You put something like you want to get rid of the chintzy guy. You put like 21. That's what you do. This guy doesn't even get it.
Nope.
Or 17 or something. It's been one game in the last 30 years that's landed 3-0. Hoping for a Rouge, Big Rye?
Yeah.
Dude, this is delay a game or something.
The best is at 1, you lose on the scoreless tie.
Yeah. They don't know about the.
Has there ever been a scoreless tie in the NFL? There has?
Oh yeah, and like don't forget the old days, like the 30s or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, the last
That was a false start on the right tackle too.
1943 was the last
there you go. I was close enough.
Game.
Is Barkley left in to block? Like this is what we're doing? Oh, he's running a route. Oh my god, they had it. That was a bad read. Even Barkley would have picked up 5 there. Steelers beating the Oilers 3-0. That would have been like Chuck Noll Steelers, right? Oh my goodness. I like this stadium with the creepy and like radio announcing, much like the Chiefs.
Yeah, what's interesting is this drive has only shifted the line half a point in favor of the Giants to 13.5.
It's like they're expecting it then almost. Well, they haven't got in yet. They probably won't get in. Oh my goodness. This is when I say hate. It's because you watch this
Them just do
visual
bad stuff over and over and over.
and then like they can't there's no decision making that's gonna help them. You know what I mean? So it's like a lost leader. You know what it's like? All they sell is door crasher items, and they can't figure out how they're losing money.
Well, what do you think they dial up here? What do you think they do?
Here,
Mm-hmm.
they probably go empty is my guess. Oh no, there's the running back. It looks like. What?
I think they go screen on the
I was gonna
top
say
side.
screen. Now I believe it. Why do they? Okay, this is another thing too. I have a question. It's 3rd and 14. Why waste that second with the fake handoff? No one's gonna believe you.
Well, they're trying to hold the safety so they can attack the middle of, or they're trying to hold the linebackers,
Yes.
fat guys, so they can throw right down the seam in the middle of the field. I'm being kind of sarcastic by saying that, but
Is the linebacker really going to be worried about you handing it off?
well, maybe a little. Like it's a 3rd and 14 is draw territory. I just don't know if that's what I would be doing.
What's the success rate of a draw?
Pretty
A
low,
3rd and
but
14.
at least they
Less than 10%.
It's definitely conservative. Like it's more of a, I think this guy's going to turn the ball over, so let's run it. It's one of those like early.
That goes back to what I said though about, you know what I mean? They only have door crasher items. The decision making will never save them. If there's that Will Hernandez mistake, it's pretty much the death knell on the drive. Do you know what I mean? Because they're one of the most conservative teams on 4th down.
Yeah, well, they're just bad. Let's be honest.
Bad.
It's a bad team.
They're bad. It's hard to watch.
The Bucs need to bring back the creamsicle unis. Yeah, those are pretty sweet.
I like the logo.
Sweet, but they're sweet.
I like the logo, like the guy with the knife in his mouth. It's awesome.
This one right here.
Oh, dude, it's the best.
It's very dreamy.
Dude, it's Errol Flynn, man. If you knew anything about cinema.
I don't. So
I don't.
what's going on, Dan or Don? Sorry, Don.
Hey, Don, how are you, sir? Wow, it's Don. It's forced, but I did it anyways.
Did they kick the field goal or did they go to commercial after 3rd down?
They kicked
I'm
it.
so aloof. Live line's now 13. OU 52.5.
Going to what Mickey said, I think the Eagles are a very underrated team.
It's more likely that the Bucs win. They're like the live money line's down
70, 80, 82%,
yeah,
86%, something like that.
Somewhere around that. They're minus 700. So what's 7 divided by 8?
83.44444444. Let me see if that's right.
No, it'd be like, well, what's
it's 87.5. Oh,
yeah.
no, that would have been I always mix up. I thought 1.6 is 16.6666 continuous.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit.
Because I was
8
gonna
is
say it's
1 and 8 is
whatever's
12,
between 75 and 100.
12 and a half. Yeah, 87.5. I always get that mixed up. I don't
It's
know
a little
why.
lower because that's like juice as well. So
Yeah.
it's probably about 80.
85%.
Yeah, roughly.
Man, Leonard Williams is a big dude.
Who do you guys think is? If I kind of had this conversation, I want to bring it up with you guys, see who you think. But who do you guys think is like the softest or weakest running back in the league,
Good
and not
question.
so much by stature, but by play style?
You went to Paris, Mickey? Wow, that's pretty cool. Or is it Paris, Texas?
Yeah, this cough is not going anywhere soon. Titans Niners should be good. Is Derrick Henry? Henry's coming back, right? Like he's.
They don't know.
It was kind of like
Paris, Tennessee, Mickey. Okay, yeah. I thought Texas because that's where the movie with Harry Dean Stanton or whatever, and Natasha Kinski. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think he is Big Rye. I'm holding him on my bench on fantasy but
yeah, it's fantasy's tough, right? Because fantasy season is shorter than the actual season. Because I remember them saying that he might be able to come back near the end or like for playoff time, but they're obviously talking about NFL playoffs, not fantasy playoffs.
Yeah. Ricky Waters was soft. That's fair.
I'm thinking like current active. Natasha Kinski, is that I'm guessing that's not an NFL running back.
No, it's not. She's the actress in that movie Paris, Texas I was mentioning.
Oh, okay.
It's an art house film. You really wouldn't like it.
I believe you. Gronkowski with the catch back after his few game hiatus with his, I think it was a back injury.
He's hard not to like, eh?
Gronkowski?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love his like military insurance or whatever it is commercials. I think they're really, really funny. Like that's, to me, that's like the perfect athlete endorsement. Like just go on and be a dingus. Like it's just a perfect fit for Gronkowski.
I oddly enough don't care for them that much, but I like him as a player. He's the best tight end ever, and like he has fun doing it. Like I don't know, it's rare to see a guy like, I don't know, enjoy. Wow, Danny Shelton just pulled that guy down by his head. Was that Rojo?
Yeah.
It's rare to see a guy enjoy himself that much while still having that type of success. So
the Gronkowski, they talked about it on the Peyton and Eli show because Brady was on there, or no, Gronkowski and Eli and Brady were both on at separate times, and Gronkowski essentially said that he doesn't do like any film prep or anything like that. He just goes to Tom the day before the game and says like, "What do I have to do?" And then Tom breaks down what Gronkowski needs to do, which to me is like, what a perfect, like, first off, you're going to maybe the greatest player of all time and just going, hey, what do I have to do before every game? Like, you figure with most other players, they would just get sick and tired of someone asking them something like that, but it's worked out well for both of their careers, I'd say.
yeah, but you got to think about it. Here's the thing: you could tell Gronkowski what he has to do, and you're going to get full effort. You see that guy taking plays off? I don't. I've been watching him for 10 years. I don't remember him not like on a blocking assignment. Do you remember him like being a baby? No. So think about it. If you're Tom Brady, how much is that worth to you? Someone you can actually trust, right? It's not like he's never gotten beat before, but you're going to get the full, experience. Le'Veon Bell being soft, I like that one.
Especially now. He wasn't soft like at his prime, but he's definitely soft now.
I don't know. Yeah.
He had some crazy
He was
good
such
plays.
a glider, man. Barely like.
Well, it's like
for a guy that didn't move very fast, he barely got any contact.
Well, it was like Tomlinson. Like I forget who taught him this, but someone essentially told him, like, I think it was Earl Campbell taught him this, and he said, like, there's 3 things you can do as a running back, and essentially it's like go down, run out of bounds, or like take the hit. And he pretty much said, like, to sustain your career, like, you really have to get good at, like, knowing which one to do at which times. Because, like, Bell was like that. Like, in his prime, there was times where, like, you know, it'd be like a 3rd and 3, and he would power through a guy to get to that first down. Like, it was situational awareness. But it's like, you know, if you do it on every play, like, you're not going to last as long.
No,
not that I'm worried about Bell. Like, Bell, you know, essentially stopped his career midway through because of other reasons. But Untouchable says all San Fran running backs are soft. That's a pretty interesting one. Mostert's a guy that's always hurt. Elijah Mitchell's on the soft side. Jeff Wilson is... I don't want to say he's soft, but he's just big. I don't know if I've seen enough of Jeff Wilson to really say.
Trey Sermon.
I've seen him carry the ball like 3 times, so it's hard to say.
They have on that roster. Oh, they have Jerick McKinnon.
I think McKinnon's in Kansas City now, isn't he?
Oh, right. Yeah, he is. Sorry, I got it mixed up.
Ironically, McKinnon is on the softer side.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mostert's just been hurt a lot. Like, I don't know if Mostert's soft, but he's probably on the softer side if you had to look at if you looked at every running back. Fat guy brought up Leonard Fournette. Fournette's a guy who's like kind of the same way as Bell, where it's like there's games where it's soft and there's games where he's played hard.
I thought he was a bit wimpy in Jacksonville. He's playing a role though in Tampa Bay, and he's having success.
Is Giovanni Bernard injured?
I don't know. I stopped. I used to read Roto World twice a day, and I stopped doing it because of the opinions. It started driving me nuts. So I kind of lost touch a little bit.
I still like to read it for the updates. I just ignore any of the opinion-based.
It got to me eventually, though.
Yeah. Well, that's something that's something you got from me, because I hate the rumors. I hate the opinion side. Like, it's just
I totally did. Well, you pointed it out, and then I started like reading into it more, and I'm like, why would you say something like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then there you have it.
I didn't read the entire one, but I think they had an opinion about Dalton starting. Let's say it that way.
What difference does it make? He's starting. Like,
oh, if I'm Tom Brady and I kick a defender with my cleats, I'm probably getting up and apologizing, because that guy could have just, like...
He could have killed you. He would have got a fine, though. Like, it's so dumb. A lot of players do that. They slide like that. It's so dirty that the quarterback's allowed to do that. He over cashes, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, no kidding. It could have been longer than a couple yards.
That's all you need with him. Nice yards after the catch from Godwin. His defense is not looking up to snuff right now.
Brady with the wheels. Brady definitely bet himself over his rushing yards prop. Yeah. That was baller. It was that was one of the better runs I can remember.
Dexter Lawrence.
He just retired recently. Or no. I'm thinking of Snacks. Damon
Oh,
Harrison.
Damon Harrison.
The um,
How are you
this
celebrating?
this you know what Brady's done really well, other than this play, is he's been able to like read the defense before they line up and just get the ball out really, really quick to the skill position players, because this game has just been quick.
Hey,
Quick
there's
from
Bernard.
him.
Bernard's in. Get the ball out.
That was a weird decision from Mike Evans, deciding to stay up.
Just stand.
His knee did go down, but like
Yeah.
you might as well stay down for an extra second so guys know. Mike Evans is a good player.
Yeah, he's been a good player. I wonder if he's like a neutral for where he was drafted. You know what I mean? Like,
Where was he
he's
drafted?
9th overall, I think. Maybe 8th.
I think it's been
Neutral.
there's nothing if you have him with a first round pick, that's a good first round pick.
I don't know. I don't know if you. I think it's close.
Like there's other guys that we would rather have drafted
Yeah,
there,
of
but
course,
I think
but I'm saying like
it's
I
fine.
think he's a neutral. Like he
Did
didn't
you
win or
see
lose.
Did you see the Taysom Hill contract today?
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get it either. It's just
It's because like, how can he compare himself to anyone? You really think that anyone would pay him that money on that?
no.
And I don't hate him or anything. He's been exciting. It's been a nice little wrinkle to the Saints, but like, would any team pay that kind of money for him? Like, if you were to
No.
let him to market, no. Just felt like nepotism, kind of like, okay, you've done a lot for us. You've done everything we asked. Here's like a
I
little
felt
bonus.
the same way, but it's like you're just hurting your own team by
Yeah,
signing that
then
kind of
your goal
contract.
to me isn't truly trying to win, right? You know, Tom Brady should be QB 12, not Tom Brady. But then again, you have to only Belichick really separates. You know what I mean? The humanity from football.
Yeah, I like the Darrell Henderson. Darrell Henderson might be the softest, especially out of like any guys that are having success. Yeah, like, because I don't like. I think there's a pretty decent chance. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. I think they're definitely going to try to get someone else at quarterback. Like, I think they're going to continue to look at their options, because that makes more sense, right? It's like, then the guy's going to play like some tight end hybrid running, like the position he's, design, like had success with, let's say.
It's one thing, like Jay just said it best. You could have used your resources better. It's one thing if there was no salary cap and the team was net positive, like made a lot of money, and they wanted to reward their players. Whatever. Like, your business, do what you want. I mean, not that the Saints aren't a business, but like, it just hurts your competitive advantage, right? Or puts you at a competitive disadvantage. You know what I mean? Like doing that.
There's
And it's
another.
again nothing against Taysom Hill. Good for him.
There's another one today. I don't know if you saw it, so I'm going to ask you.
Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, what do you think the annual? What do you think Cortland Sutton's worth? Like, if you were a GM and you were going to sign
$7
him,
million.
so he signed for 15,
16.
Yeah, for 4 years.
But I'm bearish on wide receiver. I don't really care. You know what I mean?
I just find it strange that they're willing to sign him for $15 million a year. Like,
he's a really good player. That's what the market demands, though. I mean, he hasn't had the success recently, but why pay for it now? I don't know. They
like,
put
how much
so
does
much
the
position.
Bengals receivers getting paid?
Well, everyone's on rookie deals except Tyler Boyd.
And do you know what Tyler Boyd is getting paid roughly?
He's probably
There's nothing wrong. Like Josh, I agree. Their receivers are good. I just don't know if you're paying each one of those receivers $15 million a year. Like that's just a bizarre use of resources. What were the Browns paying Landry and Beckham?
15 and 13 million.
Yeah, so Cortland Sutton's getting the same money that Beckham was getting, essentially.
Tyler Boyd gets about $8 million a year.
I think that's like I'd rather have Tyler Boyd at 8 than
just
Sutton
without
at
question.
15. But also next
but
time
then
Boyd
Tyler Boyd's new contract though is 10.7 average.
Yeah.
That's still not like when you compare the two, it's still a lot better.
What do the Patriots receivers get paid?
Well, let's take a look here. I love Spotrac. It's one of the best websites for sports I can think of. Aguilar is getting $7 million. Kendrick Bourne 3, Matthew Slater 3, and Keel Harry 2.75. Jacoby Myers 853. That's it.
I'm even surprised that they have Aguilar at 7.
He's a 1-year deal though.
Yeah.
Which one? The website, Mickey, or the receivers? How much money they're getting?
I think that Jameis is probably it's Spot Track. I'll write it in here.
Spotrac. It's unreal. It's a really, really good website. No, there's no K.
Does contract stuff. Let's see the team with the ironic what? Oh.
That makes sense because he's on. They're putting Julio Jones is considered. I guess he's on IR.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say because I was like, how is this even possible? They don't have him listed. AJ Brown's only making $1.5 million a year this year, at least.
The power of drafting.
As far as average cap dollars. It says here the Falcons only have one, so I don't.
What's his name? He's taking a leave of absence.
Yeah.
That was a terrible call on 3rd down by the Giants.
I think the Saints are going to try to bring in someone from outside of the organization next year. That's my guess.
For quarterback, well, you're gonna have a lot less money to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like that team. I really don't like that team. Yeah, Ridley's
Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley, yeah.
That's another thing they were talking about how he can come back, but like I don't think he's coming back this season. That's my guess.
I don't know. It's pretty, yeah.
There's a chance he might never come back. Like he just might be done with the NFL. Like it's really hard to say.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know the guy. We don't know any of the. Who knows? Who knows what, where, why, how?
Yeah. Well, it's like the Chris Borland stuff. Like some of these guys might think like there's better things to do than play football. Like it's a lot of money to give up, but I don't know. I wonder what Chris Borland is doing now.
Probably a motivational speaker or something now.
there's not a ton of info on what's going on. The live OU's come down to 47.5, so that's a good sign for people that were on the under.
He's an intern at a mental health program.
Yeah, it's good for him.
It's the beauty of choice. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Mickey said he could see the Saints making a play for Russ or Rodgers. And then, I don't mind if you have one of those guys and then you still have Taysom Hill as like that, the same role he played with Drew Brees. Like, I don't mind it. It's still a lot.
How are you going to afford it?
It's a lot, but...
Explain that to me. That's what I'd like to know.
Teams can make it work. Like, they can.
I don't think you can, though. Like, it's
tough.
Because then you're gonna have to, for those teams that are close, like there's teams that could afford it. Like the Browns are the best candidate because they have the best team and they have lots of cap space. So the Browns have their 7th in cap space, but they still have Beckham and Landry on the books. You can get a quarterback right there. You've got it. Jacksonville has the most cap space. Then the Eagles, Broncos, Seahawks, Steelers, Chargers. Saints have $2 million in cap space. How you just signed this guy? How are you gonna free up $35 million? I just don't. I don't see it. And if you look at the Saints one, look at all their dead cap on all these guys. It's crazy. It's crazy. You can't cut anybody.
Well, that's a big play.
Wow. So here you go, Big Rye. The Saints have every guy the Saints have that is making more than $2.8 million a year has bigger than a $10 million cap hit, dead cap hit. You can't cut anybody.
So they've already done, they've done
that exact process.
They've already done the thing where they give everyone a huge signing bonus and then...
Yeah, they've already done it. You can't even here, I'm trying to find the most reasonable one. Okay, Ryan Ramchick's dead cap hit is $43 million.
Yeah.
Demario Davis,
they can't cut these guys.
They can't cut. Demario Davis, $17 million. You can't cut any of these guys. The lowest one you could do is James Hurst, $2 million cap hit, $2 million salary, $4.5 million cap hit. You cannot make the money work. There's no way. And then you're going to add Taysom Hill to this because regardless of what it is, his dead cap hit will be what, $20 million? You're done. Can't do it. I love this Spotrac site. It's just unbelievable. It really is.
Yeah, the Brady deal is 1 year, $25 million, $20 million signing bonus.
What a great deal for the team, eh?
Then they've got like a $8 million over the next, this year and then the 4 years after. So I don't know exactly what that all. Oh, is that Andrew Thomas making that catch? Holy!
Is he eligible?
He must have been. They were ready for that because he had the celebration ready to go.
Unreal.
Sounds like Saints need
that
a
guy
new GM.
touchdown.
What's the Michael Thomas contract?
Oh, he is. Good catch, actually, by the big man. I like how they can't run. Like, they haven't even tried to run.
Well, they're an extra point away from tying this. On the live line now, you can get Buccaneers -7.
Oh, dude, in the Browns, David Njoku's off the books next year. That's $6 million. Jarvis Landry, his dead cap hit next year is
How does the Beckham stuff work? Like, is he
I don't
still
know.
on?
They had to pay him out like $7 million for him to leave, which
Yeah.
is such an annoyance for the team. Okay, yeah. So they can his dead cap hit next year. Jarvis Landry is 1.5 million, and they'll save 14 million in base salary. Yeah. We can guess what's going to happen there.
It's pretty tough for some of these guys too because they pick up injuries, and it's like, do you want an injured guy at 14 million? Probably not.
No, David Njoku would be off the books. So
they could probably bring him back for less than he's making right now.
Both guys.
Yeah, Landry. Like, I feel like Landry can probably get a deal though. Like, he could probably get another $12 million deal with another team. I'm sure Njoku could get one too. Like, could you like the Patriots did it this year anyways with Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, but not that Njoku is the same type of player as those guys.
No, he's not as good at either guys. Either guy. Oh, so Jarvis Landry's cap hit is 16.5 million next year, and his dead cap would be 1.5 million.
Yeah.
Case Keenum.
It sounds like it's pretty much designed for him to be cut and become a free agent next year.
Kareem Hunt will have 0 cap hit, 6.25 million. If you decide to go that route, they have all of these. They have a lot of flexibility. This team does.
The Browns have done an excellent job. Outside of that Beckham.
The only guys you can't cut. The only guy you can't cut is Myles Garrett. Baker Mayfield has an enormous one. It's 18 million, but they still could technically do it.
Yeah, they're probably not going to cut him, but
no.
I guess it just depends.
They could work out some trade too if they wanted to. Like, they have that maneuverability. The only guy that you can't get rid of is Myles Garrett, and why would you want to? Yeah, like this is when you think about like well-managed teams to bad-managed teams, this is a well-managed team. That roster looks great for all of that money.
I'd be curious to see what a team like Baltimore is doing year to year. Like, it just feels like they're always getting those picks. The what are they called? Conditional picks?
No, yeah, I guess conditional. Yeah.
Mickey said he doesn't see Baker coming back. I think it just depends who they could possibly get for him. Or like, not who they could get for him, but if they could get anyone else.
Oh, man. Baltimore's balance sheet looks awesome, too. The only guys with big cap hits are Lamar Jackson, Ronnie Stanley, Marlon Humphreys, and Mark Andrews. And Kevin Zeitler, oddly enough. Like, that's great. That's awesome. They can pretty much cut anybody else on the team. Tyus Bowser would be a bad one too. He's $9 million. He's only getting paid $5 million. So, but they have a lot of flexibility. That might be an interesting metric if you were modeling.
To use salary-based stuff.
Well, salary competency, or maybe.
It's tough, right? Like, you can still design a great team on paper, and it still is. It doesn't always work out, but like,
yeah, but like the finances are managed pretty well on some teams. Like the Saints one is just abysmal when I looked at it, in my opinion. Nice tackle, number 20. Actually,
you know would be the most interesting team to look at as far as contracts is probably the Rams.
Detroit. Oh, the Rams.
No, the Rams. Like, Detroit, we know is just going to have a ton of cap space eventually.
Yeah.
But the Rams,
now.
The Rams keep bringing in these guys with huge contracts. At least I'm assuming they're big contracts. So I want to know how that can impact them.
I'm going to take a look here. I love this website. I've said it 4 times now. It's great.
I remember, though, someone from the media said that the Rams are bringing in some of these guys. So if they do get taken away in free agency, they end up getting conditional picks back. And then the conditional picks are based off of like how much a guy gets signed for.
Yeah. Theirs doesn't look that bad. Like, but I'm looking at next year's right now.
For, like, what do you consider bad? Like,
when there's a lot of high salaries with high dead cap and there's no maneuverability. That's what I think is bad.
Mm-hmm.
There's some dumb ones on here. There's a guy named Tutu Atwell who's going to have a dead cap of 2.17 million.
The receiver, I
And
believe, or
yeah,
I think he's a
yeah,
return man, or maybe
yeah,
a special teams.
Yeah, and it's a $1.3 million. Like, why is that guy getting paid that much when he doesn't even play?
Well, he might be a key player, like on special teams, or
That's the
I
only.
think he's a returner. Like, I don't know why I think that, but
I don't even see Stafford on this. Stafford has no cap hit next year.
so it's all guaranteed. Like, what's
No, sorry, no dead money, rather, no dead cap.
so
That's
he could
amazing.
be cut.
He could be cut, no, with nothing, no implications.
I wonder if like some of that was thrown back onto the Lions.
It would have had to have been. That's what they negotiated. You know what they probably did in that trade? This makes a lot more sense now, because I felt like the Rams gave up a lot, but they might have got absolved of a lot of salary stuff. Because his salary's low next year. Stafford's getting 23 million. That's not that much money. Like, maybe the Lions are paying part of it. Who knows? Donald's getting 26 million. This one's a little tough. Leonard Floyd getting 20 million. And Jalen Ramsey 23 million. I don't know about that. Aaron Donald's worth every penny, but
Nice play by Julian Love.
what
here.
a play, eh? Good on the Giants defense riding the ship here.
I think Julian Love's quietly been one of the better safeties this season. I don't know why I'm saying that. I just feel like
we've
every
seen
time we
him on
watch him
prime time play. Like,
yeah,
he had a
played
good
really
game
well.
against the Chiefs. Remember, was that the Monday nighter that was actually relatively close?
Yeah, or he's at least made good plays. When
Made
we've seen him
plays that at least we notice, right? Like, we'll get lost in the shuffle like everyone else, but dude, no one's running the ball in this game. Good for the over, good for Untouchable J. How's Pitt's cap? I'll take a look here. I'm enjoying this. I like that website. I think it's neat. I'm missing some of the games, so I got to be a little more. It's got to be a touchdown.
Yeah, Ronald Jones rushing touchdown. Live lines up to 11. OU's up to 58. Bucks money line minus 614.
So next year, don't forget too, you need about 12 million for a regular draft class though. So 10 million. 10 million. This is the biggest dead cap hit I've ever seen. TJ Watt, 72 million. You're never going to cut him though.
Well, they also just signed that.
Oh, theirs is the best I've seen yet. You can't get rid of 4 guys on the whole team. You can get rid of anybody else. Oh, no. Najee Harris you can't get rid of, but that's obvious. He's a first-round pick. You're not going to get rid of him anyways. But next year, TJ Watt, Cameron Hayward, Stephon Tuitt, and Minkah Fitzpatrick, those are the guys you can't get rid of. Roethlisberger has an option deal for next year, and he's only going to get paid $10 million. So that's another reason. People can hate on him all you want.
Yeah.
Roethlisberger for $10.3 million as a quarterback. That's
it's
a deal.
good, but it's
it's
probably right at the same time.
I know. I think that's too little for what a quarterback costs. No way.
Yeah, but he's really at the tail end of his career.
Sure. But, like, he's still probably $18 million worth of production. We could find the number. Like, you and I could figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, I got to say, Jay, Pittsburgh is probably even more available than the Browns to do it.
If you are one of those guys that like one of the higher end quarterbacks, would you rather play for Steelers or would you rather play for the Browns?
Well, the Steelers can pay the most money. They're gonna have 50 million in open cap space next year. Man, these
Incredible.
guys. You want to talk about a well managed team? They're not even bad. Remember, I said at the start of the year, even I'm like, why do people think they're so bad?
Yeah.
They're not a bad team. They're not top tier. We know that, but it's a competitive team. They have 49 million in free money. That's without having to make any maneuvers. Because
I think that's also another thing is people probably look at the cap and consider like, oh, this team isn't going to be as good.
Maybe, but like they did it. Like they're a 500, maybe slightly better than 500 team.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like so. What are we gonna go with? Like, 8 and 9, 9 and 8. They're in that range, which is pretty impressive. They have $50 million. They could sign. Think about okay. I don't know if Rodgers cares or anything, but say he has his pick or whatever. I mean, that's a team also has draft capital. They have all their picks. The Steelers, they could offer him 2-year, $80 million deal. It'd be no sweat off their back.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even count. That's if they didn't have Roethlisberger at the 10 point whatever million.
Yeah, so it's 60 million in cap.
No wonder people said the Steelers. I didn't think so, but their books also too. Their books would kind of indicate that they're going to make that kind of move, right? Like, why else would you free up all that space, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mickey, if you're deep diving on that website, check out the Steelers roster and then check out the Saints roster on there. That's I think well managed versus poorly. And how much better are the Saints than the Steelers? What's the line on that game? I would argue the Steelers are better, perhaps. So it's close. Holy smokes, is that guy fast, man? I guess that's when you win the combine 40, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, Steelers are what, 5-5? Or they're 5-3 and
5-3-1. They tied Detroit.
Kadarius Toney going deep, and that's definitely PI.
Oh man, dude, that guy can throw, kind of like.
Toney had that one impressive game. Oh, they're calling this offensive. Watching the replay, there really wasn't anything there.
Yeah, that was a tangle. That was a foot tangle. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's fine. That's a no foul. Spo track. I'll type it out. Actually, you do a big right. You got the.
You got it right there. Just instead of the K, it's a C. And it does it not just for the NFL. It does it for all the sports. It's the best contract site, at least for the NFL. Like, I know that's not your favorite style, but that's what you got from Toney that one game, and like he made some pretty big plays.
I just think that all usually ends up worse rather than better.
He was doing it more downfield last time, which it was working out, but it's tough to be doing that kind of stuff at the line of scrimmage.
Someone's gonna get you.
Yeah.
These guys aren't slow. These guys aren't stupid. Like,
well, you're risking a D-tack. You're risking Vita Vea or Ndamukong Suh coming
if
back
they
on
get
the
a shot
back.
on you, you're done. Like, it's not the schoolhouse. He's got 350 pounds. Exactly what you said. One of those guys gets a shot on.
Timeout. Oh, because the play clock was running down.
That's okay. I'm okay with that timeout. That was the first like heads up coach thing I can remember him doing. Oh yeah. Joe Judge doing a rah speech. I'm sure that'll land with this team. So dumb.
Is it Daniel Jones' third season?
I think fourth.
They called it a catch?
Dude, he dropped it.
Well, it looked like he was
body language.
He was walking backwards out of bounds, but it got pulled out. Just yeah, Bruce Arians didn't mess around. Like that thing was challenged before. It looked like an incompletion live. But I guess you could argue it was caught, and then there was a football move backwards, and then the fumble. I think it's going to stand as a catch, to be honest.
It's interesting.
It was a really, really nice play from Winfield.
Yeah. Not exactly a weak tackler.
Oh, man. That guy had some spectacular hits, like last year in the playoffs.
Well, yeah. Well, I wonder where he learned it from.
Yeah.
The best tackling cornerback that you and I have probably ever seen.
How are all these like cornerback like of the seconds? Like all these guys have been awesome. Like Patrick Surtain, Asante Samuel Jr., Winfield.
I don't know if awesome is the term, but they've been pretty like they're living up to their billing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like they're making errors, but like these guys are gonna be good.
I agree, Jay. I think they'll say he made a football move to step backwards. And
you know what's funny though? It's what speed you're watching it at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I don't know if it's still like this, but I remember they maybe it was just a dumb announcer saying it, but they said that they have to watch it in full speed, like the refs, even with the like you can slow-mo and all that stuff, but they won't let them apparently.
Well, how could they make a good decision if that's the case?
Well, sometimes it's,
like a ball hitting the ground. I think that's look at the contract notes. Bucks must be better than 26 in rushing per attempt. No one said that the democracy had to be altruistic. Untouchable Jay. I bet him at -5.5, Mickey. And I think -5 as well. So I just think it's going to close at 7. So
It's a pretty big
Actually,
jump from the.
6 is a big number.
Well, it's interesting that some of those other books had it at 3, because a lot of the lines that we use are like lines from like before the games
Alt
on
books.
Sundays.
Yeah, like look aheads.
Yeah, so it's interesting that it shifted all the way from 3 to 6, just from the Pats and
Recency bias.
Titans performances.
Well, I think you had 2 extreme performances. That's due to happen. I think it's probably too many points in actuality, Mickey, but I think it'll close around 7. So yeah, I think it'll close at 6. That was my guess. I got it at 5.5 when it opened on a different book.
It's 5.5 at Pinnacle right now. I've got it up
shoot.
here on the screen.
What's the juice?
Pats minus 106.
I got a slightly worse price than that. $48 or $33?
I feel like I'm missing so much of this game, but did they call that an incomplete pass?
I
Like,
couldn't
how
tell. I
does-
was looking over.
How does Tampa have the ball?
Are you having connection issues? Because I am.
No, connection's fine. I've just every time I start looking into something else, or
I'll be right
we
back.
go on a tangent. Sounds good. Oh, so they ended up calling that incomplete. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Tampa Bay challenged the pass completion ruling, and the play was reversed. And then they punted. Okay. Oh, no crack for the fat guy? Lucky us. It's still crazy to think that maybe the best NFL player of all time was drafted in the 6th round, 199th overall. Guy played for, what is his 21st year? He's 44 and still playing. It's pretty incredible. I wonder if you guys can use Pinnacle with um, a VPN, but maybe not because you might have to prove that you're not in the US when you do sign up. He's got a shot mud, but it's like it's just such a small possibility. Like he would have to continue like a multi-touchdown pace pretty much the rest of the way. Or the only other thing I could say is that like if there's no team that really takes off as far as record-wise goes, like if every team is like 10 or 11 wins by the end of the year, there's a chance that maybe it could go to him. It's just so hard for like a non-quarterback to get it. And it's weird too because like if Taylor was to win, like Derrick Henry was beating him by like 200 or 300 yards just a couple weeks ago. Not that that's like a full year, but Circa's another book. It's like Pinnacle, but I think it's based in Vegas. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's might be like a new hotel or it's there we go. High limit sports betting in Nevada and Colorado and Iowa. Circa on Fremont Street. I think when I go back to Vegas, that might be the place to go watch these games. I haven't been there yet, so it'd be fun to go. Oh man, Godwin almost made that circus catch. I don't think it does, Jay, but I don't know. Mickey, where do you look just on their website or where do you find the actual odds for Circa? So here I've got Vegas Insider. Like if I hit this, it takes me there. Big catch here by Godwin. And he is just marked short, but there's a flag on the play. Pre-game odds was, I think 10.5, or I think it was 11 was the last I saw as it for this game. Here you go. Vegas line moves. Oh yeah, the contest was a good line, but also 12 is not a key number. So really 10 and 14 are the only key numbers. So there we go. See, I would think 13 was as well, but at least in the sample size that I've been tracking, it's, let me tell you.
Ooh, that's impressive. Do you have to log in to get that, Big Ryan?
No. There's only been, since the start of last year, only 2 games have finished with a win margin of 13. It's almost hard to believe.
That is hard to believe.
And that's in a sample of like what? We're looking at 420 or 430 games.
Yeah.
Whereas like on the polar end of it, there's been 66 games or 15% of games have finished with a margin of 3. So pretty big difference. Yeah, I used to use Sportsbook Review too, but their site has just become terrible. I look away and all of a sudden the Giants have the ball. Did Tampa have to punt? I'm like so out of it looking for all this stuff today. Yeah, they punted.
You just said the Giants team has been an abomination in the last 2 minutes. I've never heard of an announcer be that crude.
Outscored 45-0.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, that'll take us to halftime, that wild play. Oh, fat guy, you're blacked out.
Oh, right. Boom.
He's back in the game.
Okay. Since we've been defining the word hate, I hate Adam Schefter.
I think that's more fair. Valuable insights.
Bono's got an interesting comment. Did we touch on that?
Yeah, do you want to go over it? Because I don't know enough about smart contracts, but it's been, I know I heard something, if it's what I'm thinking it is, it's something that you and I have been thinking about for a few years now.
Many years, yeah. There's, not many, yeah, a few, you're right. Smart contracts are, it's part of like, I guess the blockchain ether. Funny that I use the word ether. Ethereum that was based is a cryptocurrency that's based. The whole idea is it's going to be an application for smart contracts on a blockchain. That's the whole point of Ethereum. There's other ones that are like that. ADA, Cardano, the symbol's ADA, and DOT. DOT is the other big one, I believe. So the whole point is to cultivate that and kind of like the idea is to just relegate things to obsolescence, much like banking systems, purchasing a house, all that kind of stuff. Like I'm giving you the very fringe, very long idea of it, but the simplest one is it's exactly like an escrow. It receives the temporary money at an agreed upon price, and then fact checks multiple sources and confirms it, and then transfers the dollars into or the asset or whatever it is, right? But I guess technically it would be Ethereum, for instance, if you use an Ethereum smart contract, right? Because they need their own currency. That's the whole point of it, right? So those sources are called oracles. Does it have anything to do with like Larry Ellison's company, Oracles? Like, is there any sort of overlay between the two?
So essentially, like,
go ahead.
On a simplistic standpoint, it would be like you'd be able to bet peer to peer.
Yes, but it's like a betting exchange, right? Except the fees would be a lot less.
Yeah.
Probably my biggest financial asset is Ethereum, to be honest.
Mickey's on Bucks second half -3.5.
I have those too. I'm loaded on Cardano. I bought Cardano at like 80 cents Bono, so it's I sold it off and bought it back later on. That was probably one of my bigger games. So I have DOT, Cardano, I have Solana and Link, and obviously Bitcoin and Monero. I try and stockpile Monero, but like I'm having trouble with like the GUI software right now, so I can't actually access my coins because I have it on a cold storage.
I've got food, so I'll be right back.
Right on. I like when you talk about cryptocurrency, you sound like you're like literally speaking a different language. So, and I know very little about it. I'm a total laggard in it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have Hive. I tend to just trade mostly within the Toronto Stock Exchange. So, you know, being Canadian, and so I don't really like the conversion stuff. Big Rye is more of an American trader, but yeah, I do have like that Hive ETF and stuff, which is swung a lot too. Well, crypto became a thing in the gambling community, like poker. Some guys exchange money that way, right? And also, too, there's guys that sell will take cash for crypto too in that space. So it became a little bit more popular. It's still not there though. Oh, that site, Seals with Clubs at Vono, has the highest stakes poker gambling I've ever seen. Like, it's not a joke. Like, they're for real. There's the highest buy-ins of any of the poker sites is Seals with Clubs. Yeah, they play for like serious though. Some guys have $1 million in their stack like regularly. So I don't play on there that often because it's the one thing I hate regulation, but for poker there is collusion. I'm not sure there are geofencing policies, and as well as masking policies if you run on a VPN, because you can't do that with Poker Stars. Not that there isn't collusion, but that is an added like risk to it. And then also too, but that's why you have to play at like a level where it's like just low enough where they won't do anything about it, and just high enough where like you can actually make some money on it. So you're kind of capped there. So it is a little bit of an issue. And also too, there are bots. So, and I would imagine the bots can run a little bit easier because you can play on Seals with Clubs on just on a browser. Yeah, there's a lot of websites actually, poker websites, illegal ones that do it, and it caters to Americans. So I'm surprised though they don't use a privacy coin though. Eventually, like Bitcoin, it's all recorded. You know what I mean? Like anyone can look at it.
I know I had to step away, but I want to hear about Voyager stock. What that is.
Oh, there you go. I'll let the man answer you.
And then, so they could avoid the shenanigans with banks and the government. Last time I heard, a Bitcoin was probably like 100 times less.
Yeah, it was barely a thing, and like like the stakes were pretty low, and now a lot of the people involved obviously made a lot of money on crypto, so their gambling appetite is just scaled, and they play for serious dough, like higher than I've ever played most of the games. They have heads up pot limit Omaha for 25. The blinds are 2,500 and 5,000 I've seen, that's like really, really, really high. That's really high. It's like flipping coins for 50,000 a pop. Like it's big dough. Yeah, I think it was a win-win. There's another website where like a lot of my crypto portfolio even came from. So it's the one out of Missouri, and I did particularly well on this website. I was playing Heads Up Omaha 510, so like a $1,500 buy-in, and they're too big. The two biggest whales on there, I zeroed their account over a weekend. It was a really good, and I just, instead of cashing any of the money, I just sent it to a cold storage. So I did trade some of that Bitcoin though on Binance for different coins, and that's where a lot of my portfolio came from, which is really funny. Well, that's the thing, Vono. Like, if you're in that space, right? Like, if they're crypto fans, they would have done well, right? Because Seals with Clubs is an old site, right? And the rake over, like, the rake's actually pretty comparable from what I remember. I haven't looked though in a while, and I'd have to put it through like one of my Google Sheets to see where it is comparable compared to other websites. But I would imagine it's a lot less because it doesn't nearly have the overhead that something like PokerStars does. So PokerStars is very hard to beat the rake. It's not a good place to play poker.
What is the rake like, just off the top of your head?
It's usually 10%. Like, okay,
Wow.
At the private games I play at, yeah, but it's capped though, right? So it affects your strategy. So your pre-flop strategy is predicated on the amount of rake you have to pay.
Yeah.
So, and your no limit games, the best strategy, like for instance, that the house game I play at, it's 5-10 are the blinds, minimum buy-in 300, minimum maximum buy-in 2,000. And then what you want to do is the max rake is $30. Some places it's 40, but it's $30, which is a lot, right? So what you want to do is you want to get the pots capped. Like you want them to hit 300 or get higher than 300 every time, because then you pay a lower rake, right? So then what you do is you do a polarization type raise. So if everyone limps for $10, when I'm later in position, I'll tend to make it like 170 a lot. So either people call and the pot's now built up and I've capped out the rake, so it won't go any bigger, or B, everyone folds and they don't take rake pre-flop. So if 6 guys limp for $10, I'll steal the 60 and pay no rake on it, right? Problem is, though, is you have to make that effective, you have to be really good at playing marginal hands in position. So it's a whole other strategy thing. The computer, like the Pio solver, the solver is a little bit slow on that type of strategy, but it's still probably the best one. So
very interesting.
Yeah. There's charts, like there's math charts based on the rake structure for a lot of these games. It's for no limit hold'em, it's a bit tough because the stack sizes, like that matters so much, but Omaha is pot limit, so you're capped at how much you can raise to. So that that limits the computation of the solver. So the solver is a lot better at understanding it when you give it a limited ceiling parameter. Enough poker.
Yeah, Zit, can you elaborate? Like, what is Voyager? And are you based out of Canada? Because it looks like it's being traded on the Canadian Stock Exchange.
He's not Canadian.
Okay.
He might trade on the
Well, it looks like they
PSX.
have well, there's
Probably
a couple
both.
different Voyager. There's Voyager
Oh, could
Digital.
you journal it? Yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, it looks like you might be able to get it different places.
Dude, that tarp is so dangerous. How many times are we gonna say that
I don't.
till they change it, eh?
Well, some places don't have it, so I don't get why some places have it, some places don't.
Did you see that? That was terrible from Galladay.
Galladay hasn't had nearly as much success as he did in Detroit.
He just, that block play will tell me everything I need to know about that. That's horrible. Has Barkley even done anything this game? Very interesting. I haven't noticed him.
They haven't had many rushing attempts. I only remember one.
I remember 2. Both weren't very good. He got 2 yards between the 2 plays. Oh, nice play. Looks like Rudolph got a Charlie horse. They have Shaq Barrett playing coverage. Nice one. Guy who led the league in sacks. Almost broke the record. Why give an exotic look with that guy? Who cares? Very rarely, Jay. I was a full tilt guy back in the day, and I was very successful on that website, but it was mostly like because of software usage. I'll only play stars. They've changed the rake structure where they used to have they have rake back now, where they didn't for a long time. So I'd consider it again, but they changed the like the bonus structure to a very poor structure for the player. So I quit playing for them. But then they'd send me like an offer, like, you know, achieve this rake in this time, and we'll give you this bonus. And I would play to fulfill those bonuses, like probably once every 2 months. And the bonus would be for a month, and I try and do it all in one weekend, just because I don't actually like playing poker as much as you would think I do. It's more of a job when I do it. So, very little would be the too long don't read answer to that. Mind you, I did play on Friday night, so. They got to go for this. I don't even think it's Oh, they allow you in Pennsylvania play on Poker Stars? I didn't know that. I thought you could play in New Jersey and that was it. I didn't even think you could play in Nevada. I didn't know you could do Pennsylvania. I'm glad they're going for it. That's great. I think Hold'em's really difficult to... Man, they never run. Oh, my. They never run. They never run this team.
That's a big play for Mickey and Jay on that second half. Bucks. Okay. Anytime I need to get a gift for a woman, I'm gonna get her something from the NFL shop.
I thought you were gonna make a joke about the Moscato commercial. At least that'd be better. Like, Moscato's so cheap, though. You know what's funny though? In America, they have like $3 bottles of wine. Isn't that amazing?
That is pretty amazing.
What's the cheapest? The cheapest bottle of wine here, I think, is $9.
I would have. I'm the worst person. That's one of like.
I would know. I should know.
You should know. I don't know how I would know.
I think it's $9 roughly.
I don't think I've ever bought a bottle of wine in my life.
Really?
Not that I can. I'm sure I have, but I can't remember.
Yeah, $2 Chuck. I've heard that before. Boone's Farm. I think I've heard of that before. It's like alcoholic grape juice. Probably $3 on inflation. Yeah.
They've got some fancy bottling.
You know, that it kind of looks like Jewish wine if you've ever seen it. Manischewitz or whatever. More fruity. I think there's some sort of reason that it's like that. What do you think of the silver markets at Vono? I'm heavily invested in silver mines and physical silver, to be honest. So I'm it hasn't worked out quite as well as I'd like it to. So I sold off in November 2 years ago, and then bought it back like in 1 week in November, and that's the like if it weren't for that, I'd be well in the red. Oh, I love Lambrusco. It's awesome. You're not invested in silver? Yeah, I'm just curious today. It had another dump today. I wasn't exactly happy about it. Yeah, well, I bought it because it would be a lot of my friends think it's an inflationary hedge, and it also has industrial properties. Considering a lot of the green energy ideas do need silver, but I think 24.60. I think USD an ounce. So I haven't checked it fully today, but I think it's 24.60 in that range. So it was at 25.40 on like Thursday, Friday, or whatever. 25.25, something like that. Yeah, that's what I've been hoping for. Is it short squeeze, and I would be doing very, very well. I have a lot of physical silver, a lot of it. So one of my friends has 9,000 ounces, which is an absurd amount. I don't even know how heavy is that too. What a screen. You see all those guys bite on it? Big Five Sporting Goods. Amazing. I have a silver chain from the 90s. Might be worth something. Oh, legal formation.
That's too bad because it was such a successful play.
Dude, those D linemen bit so hard.
Yeah.
You got to think when you and the two buddies next to you get through that easy, there's something's up.
It is interesting, right? It sucks because all game you're trying to get to them and you never can, and then you finally break through, and it's because they let you.
It's a herringbone. Oh, that is very 90s. That was a great catch. You can't even blame Julian Love on that. Like, he was on him like a cheap suit. There's just no. It's just, and it went up high, even if he was right on him.
A couple of these, I've been watching like the mic'd up stuff, and there's so many times where guys just like they're on the sideline and they pretty much just go like, we're in the NFL and these guys can sometimes just make plays. Like there's nothing you can do. And that's pretty much what it was with Julian Love on that last play.
They optioned GameStop for a short squeeze movie. Maybe you're pulling my leg, but anything is possible now. Because they're out of ideas, Hollywood. So
there was a big thing as far as one of the subreddits because the moderators were trying to
influence,
essentially sell the movie. Like they said that people were coming to them and offering them money to tell the story. It's a weird sub drama of the of everything that's gone on with GameStop, and
100% chance it gets made into a movie. I love it. I've never seen Zippono's usually pretty timid with predictions, much like us. 100% chance. Well, all right, I'm gonna believe it. It's one of the biggest stories.
It's like the Facebook movie. Like that's, I don't think it's going to be made the same way, but it's just one of those things where
that was different. Like what style are you going to do? Like I don't know.
I've never
That was a
watched that
David
movie.
Fincher.
But it's one of those things where it's like it's an obvious like thing to make a movie about, right? Like I'm sure there'll be a movie about Musk and whatever he's doing with Tesla and other companies. Like it's just too easy, right?
You know, I don't like someone dies in like the tech space, and like the veneration that happens. There is
what's veneration mean?
It's like when you make someone a saint after they're dead.
Oh, you're talking about Steve Jobs?
Yeah, you knew exactly where I was going with that. Like your company is going bankrupt. He didn't make the iPod. Someone else did. You know what I mean? Like that piece of technology and the marketing campaign behind that saved the company. I don't get how like you take that out, no one cares, right?
Yeah.
America loves a winner, right? So it's just hard to give that guy so much credit for that.
Yeah, that Kodiak movie sucks. Or it's Kodak. I didn't even say the right company.
That's why I was like, is this an Eggcorn here? Dude, Kodak cameras? Come on, that was still big for a long time.
Well, I remember being, I don't know if it's Rochester or somewhere close to Rochester, but that's where... New York
State?
Yeah, that's where Kodak, like I guess one of their main production buildings were. And now it's just like a ghost town. Like it's just a huge empty building. It's like a hollowing reminder of once was.
Oh, that was...
I don't know what the hell I'm saying.
I'm sorry, it was funny. It was like you being candid but using like appropriate vocabulary. So
yeah, it's pretty crazy that a guy like him has enough influence where you can tweet something out and like can affect a pretty hefty amount of the market.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing too. But then you wonder, like, because I think the most famous guy in the world, social media wise, is Cristiano Ronaldo. Man, could that guy ever sell out? Right?
Yeah.
He's probably got $1 billion anyways, and he, to be honest, he deserves it. Nice touchdown. Your son used to work at GameStop, Mickey?
Oh, so insider info.
Insider, yeah, we know you.
Yeah, the Dogecoin stuff too. Like, even
Canada,
people in our Discord were talking about Dodgy coin or whatever you want to call it.
Doggy coin, yeah. I was so negative about it. I don't know.
Well, it's a meme, right?
Yeah. Although, like, I will be honest with, I got like there was some Schadenfreude that went on when in one of my poker app groups everyone's asking me about crypto as if I knew anything. Like, you know, I know probably 1% about the crypto sphere, but it's still 1% more than those guys. So like,
yeah,
I guess
it's
right?
tough. That's how it is with most people, right? Like everyone's heard this or heard that. Like no one really knows. Like,
you know, and they said, well, what would you do? I'm like, I would buy Ethereum or Bitcoin or both and just hold on. And I'd take advantage of all the bonuses because there's a lot of like, you know, buy $100 worth of Bitcoin and get 25 or 10. There's a lot of those. And I did that for like a week, you know, and made pretty good money on like just doing that, right? And I said, just hold. And then one of the guys like, I'm doing Dogecoin for sure. Like, and I'm like, okay, like have it, you know, he's like, no, it's 100% going up. And like, he bought it literally the top, and he was like so rude about it. But like, he asked the question, but like, it's one of those things where a guy wants a certain answer, and if he doesn't get it, you know what I mean? So it was very interesting. Yeah, no, I'm not dissing it. It's still a meme though. Zifono, the guy who made Dogecoin's from Vancouver. Oh yeah, someone told me that he sold it all before it actually like he didn't actually make money on it, which is very funny. So yeah, the guy lives probably half an hour from Big Rye and I. So it was made here in the city we live in. Yeah, I watched The Big Short, Mickey. So it's I thought it was like I thought it was a decent way to communicate to the public, right? They had a lot of like, it was a little over dramatized, which when you have an ensemble cast, you kind of have to play it that way, especially to keep people interested. But like, it did something to educate people, right? I wouldn't say the movie was for me, but I was glad it was made. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Scam coin. It's like when Walmart first started, the word mart was looked down upon. I had another one. A few guys were really, really trying to talk me into buying it. It was like 2 weeks ago. I forget what it's called, though.
What, like Shiba Inu?
Yeah, it was that one. They were all talking about what they were going to do with their millions, and I was
They're
just...
like a year too late.
Well, I was just listening. Like, it can get kind of crazy, too, when people, like, have, the big dreams about it, or, like, putting all their hopes or into something like that. But I think it's crazy. Like, if you pull up Reddit and you just search by new, like, every second post is some crypto, some sort of coin that's like Rocket Moon coin or whatever. It's...
Well, that's the one thing I noticed, like, in the poker world, like, most of the kids that are 19 to 23 and they have a little bit of money, they, the way they talk about, like, the way, like, maybe the poker world, not so much, but even, like, just younger guys I've come into contact, everything is speaking hyperbolically. Boring game. I don't know, Dano, but we have been talking about other subjects, to put it mildly. It's 24-10 for the Bucks. But I found that the younger generation talks to everything in extreme hyperbolic. Like, oh, buddy, for sure. They're like, they always say things like, yeah, it has a target price of like 4x by, January or whatever. And I always found that very funny. I'm like, so you're going to make 4 times your money in a few months? And then they're like, yeah. I'm like, what's the percentage? Like, oh, it's for sure happening. I'm like, why don't you bet it all then? Why don't you sell everything and borrow everything you can and do that? They're like, well, I'm like, okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the risk assessment is just insane nowadays.
I think that's I don't even think that's with young people. I think that's with almost anybody. The risk assessment we found has been like, people just have very bizarre assessment of risk.
Or probability you don't understand. This is one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen, by the way.
He looked very surprised for the ball to just land in his lap. The second half Tampa Bay play that you guys made looks very, very good right now. And Untouchable Jay's contest is looking good as well, with the live OU at 54.5.
I would bet that that's Steve McClendon's first interception, despite being 10 years in the league.
He might have had one in Pittsburgh.
What about the Jets?
Let's take a look. It's always like, it's amazing that like Steve McClendon has his own site dedicated to him on Pro Football Reference.
Oh, does he?
Well, like every player does. It's just...
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I even... Oh, my goodness.
That's
Jeff
his first.
Roblo. Hot tub is 103.
Just when I heard the name, I went, what's the hot tub at tonight?
What's the temperature at? We got to know. 103. Oh, what a great interjection.
Hot tubs at 103. That's so great to hear, Jeff. Thanks for stopping by, and hope everything is well. And
hot tub.
I for sure am.
He moved.
He's in Vegas. It's that hot tub is mobile.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
The hot tub is back. And Zit, yeah,
Him and the ghost of James Brown.
that's a coin I'd look into.
They have like coins like MILF coin and stuff.
Well, that's why I laugh like when you pull up Reddit. It's like every second post is some. If you sort by new, it's insane. Because I want to know who's going through and going, yeah, I'm gonna buy this.
Yeah, sorry, you did look it up. He didn't get one, right?
Jeff's on vacation. How is Circa's stadium swim?
Steve McLennan has no interceptions, right?
Yeah, go Steelers, Jeff. No interceptions in his career, so his first one.
So I was right.
You were right. It'd be interesting to know most snaps played on defense without an interception. Fat Guy and I were doing some...
I got one.
Yeah, who?
Defensive tackle Ted Washington.
Oh, you pretty much stole the same idea right out of my head.
What, you were going to go with that?
Yeah, definitely. Ted Washington.
You don't even know Ted Washington. Get out of here.
I don't know Ted Washington. Just disgraceful.
He has one. No, he has two. He has two. From 91 to 2007, he got two. Let's try again.
I feel like I see a lot less batted down passes like at the line of scrimmage, and I don't know why I feel that way.
Condoleezza Rice is on with the Mannings. All right.
That's an interesting... It's pretty crazy when you can go from having Condoleezza Rice to Kevin Hart on the same show.
I'm still coming up with an idea here.
Maybe he's it. I think a lot of it has to do with the price. Also, I don't know what Fat Guy said in the picks video, but I find that can influence at times.
I'm usually pretty like lukewarm on stuff, to be honest.
Also, did Tampa Bay lose last week, or did they have
Yeah, they lost to the football team.
Did the Giants win?
No, I think they were bad. I can't remember though. Did they play the... No, they play the Eagles this week. The price is also good. It's better than the close, so. I'm really trying to get this question right. Casey Hampton?
Well, I guess the first place to start is what defensive players have played the most snaps.
No,
And
first
then
place
you
to start is position for that's least likely to get an interception, and it's nose tackle. And I might have got it right. Casey Hampton, 0 interceptions, 173 games.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to beat.
Find me a guy. Find me one.
Well, did he play passing downs? No,
Yeah, he played pretty much every down.
I'm being an
He only
asshole.
had 9 sacks in his whole career. Career AV of 95. Giants off a bye? You might be right, Mickey. Yes, they... Oh, right, yes, they were. Well, you got to
Yeah,
think like
exactly. Is it?
yeah, but Casey Hampton was like 360 pounds, I think. Like how could you even close your chest? Oh, he's only 325. I thought he was bigger than that. I don't know. He's 15 pounds heavier than I am. Like, I guess you could. Oh, he's only 6'1" though. Holy smokes. Suck up here. Condoleezza Rice called the blitz. That's awesome. I remember when Chappelle came out, Chappelle show, and they had the racial draft with Condoleezza Rice. And that was the only time I felt stupid. I was like, I don't know who that is. So I think it was in grade 10. So we had to her like Wikipediaing who she was and stuff.
You're a Canadian in grade 10. You don't really need to know who Condoleezza Rice is.
All right, Zidvono, you have a good one. Happy to see you.
Yeah, have a good night, Zid. Thanks for joining us. And thanks for all that insight.
Do the Peloton treadmill.
I like how part of their business model is the subscription is more expensive if you actually have a Peloton.
Yeah.
Like, tell me how that makes sense. Up to $325 off accessories is what they just highlighted in their commercial.
What's an accessory? Like it, $325 off spending more money.
Yeah, it's
and up to, so that means there's a little star there, right? An asterisk.
I've looked into buying those, and the accessories are like the shoes and hooks and like water bottles to like not so much the treadmill, but for the bike.
Yeah.
Unbelievably expensive.
I remember when I lost all that weight before I put it back on.
Mm-hmm.
I was running like what was it on the max speed on the max incline at the Y, and I passed out twice and broke the treadmill both times, and I like was afraid to go back there.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and I biffed it and had a total rug burn like right on here and right on the edge of my lip. Really hurt. Oh, that was so good. I pushed that way too hard that 9 months.
That's it'd be sure fun to have that on camera, you falling off the treadmill and just eating it.
Yeah, I was only that was at the end though. I was only like 205 pounds. I'd been running for eight months, but I landed on my face and like pretty like I totally passed out. Oh, that was at those corner ones at the edge of the Y.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good stuff. Mind you, I that place probably had more broken equipment than any gym in Vancouver though, or stolen.
You think so?
I don't know. Remember the guys at the certain type of group of people using the weights?
Oh, like you think people were stealing from there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's like I used to work there, and it was incredible how much theft there was from the locker rooms. Like it's just sad.
Yeah, like what are you doing? It's like a family place too.
And people would, it wasn't like people weren't locking stuff up. Like people would go in and cut the lock and then take someone's stuff. Like it's pretty excessive.
Crazy. And you can't have a camera in there, right? So like what do?
You're just supposed to like patrol it.
Say
like
sorry.
I don't, and there's only so many people. Like it's just weird. It's a weird situation. Oh, these guys definitely don't know what they're doing here.
That was like just a
for a
loss of
running
down
play. Oh my goodness. What was that, man? John Ross has no clue what he's doing out there.
Oh, the Blues were down 2-0 and they're up 5-2 now.
Wow.
It's like I'm taking it on the chin today.
It's amazing how much odds swing in NHL when there's a goal scored.
Big hold by Hernandez.
They just feel so out of sync compared to the Bucks offense.
Yeah. What's a good coach team versus a bad one? He said right guard, and it was total hold. He had his arm around his neck. That's one of the more fun names in the league. Rakeem Nunez Roches. Nice play from Tony. They got to give him forward progress.
Oh my.
Oh my goodness. Well, you got to go for it now. Like, that awareness from Tony is, I don't even know what, it's not good. Why do they keep throwing it on 4th and short? And then this one finally goes. And this guy is just, holy smokes, man. Elton John wrote a song about him.
Oh, Rocket Man?
What, Rocket Man? That's a norm.
Second hold on this drive for Will Hernandez. One on a passing play, one on a rushing play.
Did you see how, like, that wasn't a very good angle that Barkley took there either.
I wonder what offense would be best for Saquon Barkley.
I don't know. This is like so bad. It's funny, like,
did you see Galladay on that play?
No, did he give up or something?
Well, he was just watching Barkley, and then he went to turn to block someone, but like the two guys had already run past him.
Mickey just said it had a good answer. Penn State.
Oh, jeez. That's a very good answer.
Oh.
I want to know, like, what he was doing at Penn State that was...
Well, that's the thing, is he was a man among boys, and now in the NFL, it's like All right. Like, these guys are pretty athletic too, bro. Like,
Mm-hmm.
is that Slayton? Just like Miles Sanders. I don't think it's quite the same, Jay. You need like a cornerstone player when you're going to pick third overall, not a running back.
Was Sanders a high first-round pick?
No. I think he was a second round pick. $53rd overall. Saquon Barkley, my mistake, second overall.
Elton Jenkins is out for the rest of the year for Green Bay. Not a good injury for them to have to deal with. As far as career AV goes, Gardner Minshew in the top 10 for his draft, a 6th-round pick.
6th-round pick, and you got a couple starting seasons out of him. That's pretty good. I don't quite agree with all that stuff, but it's not bad.
Mickey said he got down on the Rams already.
Yikes.
Third and 28. What are you drawing up here?
You have to go for it. I'm trying to get like 20. That's what I'm trying to do. So like instead of a post, it's more of like an in route.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like one of those on one side, and then I don't know, bunch of goes and posts on the other. Like I'm trying to think of something here. This is possible. My idea is possible in this formation. You can't throw it out. Oh my God. Why don't you just say you don't want to win the game?
That's tough, though. Like, you're taking those kind of penalties, which is another sign, right, of a bad team.
Yeah. Are they actually better than the Jets?
The Giants?
They're not better. They're not better coached than the Jets. Can't argue that to me. I won't believe it.
Daniel Jones is just a better quarterback than anyone the Jets have right now.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, like, I don't. Neither team's very good. It's really hard to say.
Like the Giants roster is clearly better.
Like, if they're playing in New York, Giants are probably like -2.5.
Yeah. Just because their roster is much better. I like how Ronald Jones has to be a ballerina not to hurt himself on the sideline.
Yeah.
So JPP said the torn rotator cuff was the worst pain of his career. I could think of another one, but
Mickey said Jethro isn't very positive expected value.
this game actually made me tired. How?
Well, there was that one turnover generated by the Giants down at the goal line that kind of like made it spicy for a little bit, but now it's kind of like it feels like this game's just going to a slow death.
Wait, today's Monday. Today's Monday, yeah.
Yep.
Not good for me in the contest. You're not out of it. Not great, though.
I've been keeping an eye on the live line, but they've got it down right now. Giants can't do doo-doo. Live use 47.
Why is 83 upset? Was that Tony?
No.
Like, he was upset that... What was he going to run backwards, catch it, and then loop around the other side of the field? Like, what was...
I think he just
like,
wanted an opportunity to make a play.
well, it wouldn't have... Lucky for him that it went out of bounds. Giants very much are doo-doo. Pat Mahomes is leading the league in passing yards. I find that hard to believe.
Yep. He's played more games than a lot of other quarterbacks.
That makes sense.
Like Carr's 59 yards behind him, but played one less game. Mickey just asked the same question I was about to ask. Who do you think MVP is right now?
I thought about this. This is going to sound nuts. I think Cooper Kupp or Jonathan Taylor.
Well, I think it was Mud asked earlier if Jonathan Taylor MVP was realistic.
I didn't see that.
I don't know if you were here yet, or you might have stepped away for grabbing food. I pretty much said the top teams would have to have like 11 or 12 wins. Because I feel like if one team is like 14-3 and they've got one of these decent quarterbacks, like they're probably going to end up winning MVP. Nice run from Booker.
They're talking about how desperately the Giants need Devontae Booker. I'm like, I don't know. There's probably 100 other guys that could do almost as good of a job.
Yeah. Rams down to +1, -108. So it's been good so far at +2.
Like hard, like he's got to get fired at the end of this year, right?
Joe Judge?
Yeah.
If you and I were running the team, yeah. I don't know, though. I don't know what they're trying to do.
I wouldn't let him make it through the year. I'd see if I had any smart guy kicking around. I wouldn't tell him what I wanted. I would just put him out there and see what choices he made.
They don't have a strong roster or a good coach or a good quarterback. Like, it's just, they're not in like a full rebuild like Detroit is, but it's not good.
Well, at least Detroit's honest about what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, I felt Detroit's played better in a lot of those games, regardless of the results.
Do all the NFL teams have 2 wins now other than Detroit? Yeah.
Yeah.
Seattle traded their first round pick to the Jets, and Seattle is currently sitting 5th.
Whoop.
And Chicago traded their first round pick to the Giants. The Giants right now are picking 6th and 7th. So the Lions should go 100% Wildcat. They definitely should. They've pretty much have, like, they've dedicated themselves to the run over the last 2 games. Like, let's see if I can pull up, like, actually, it would have been way smarter just to search. Oh, surprisingly, they only had 21. They actually had 23 pass attempts and 22 rush attempts.
So they had a balanced offense.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy how they only ran 45 plays on offense. And then let's see against the Steelers. 35, 38, 39 rushing attempts versus 25 throws. And I'd say like half of those throws came in the fourth quarter or overtime. Nice dialogue between Jason Garrett and Daniel Jones. It's bizarre just to see like a coach and a player just sitting there, not doing anything.
Yeah.
You figure they'd have like film to go over or something like.
Nope.
Who do the Giants have as their backup?
They had Colt McCoy. They should have hung on to him. They had
Mike
Geno
Glennon.
Smith before that. Who, Mike Glennon?
Yeah. Jay's saying he needs a touchdown here for that OU. If it finishes 44 or less, Jackson's going to end up winning.
Who's going to win?
Jackson.
Ooh.
He's got the OU of 42. And then the next closest would be 48. 42, 48, 49, 51 are the four numbers in question. This is it's a 20-point game now, so it's going to be hard for the Giants to cover the spread. If Jackson wins, he's going to win name of the week and the
he's going for a driving double.
Yeah. And if Tampa Bay, who are likely to cover this 12.5 now, Colty Boy's going to take another game on pretty much everyone in the contest.
Dude, that guy is on fire, man.
Yeah,
what Cassone have? He's the only one who can catch him. It's not true.
Cassone had the Giants tonight. Colty Boy's going to go 11-4 this week. Cassone 8-7.
What percentage is Dylan at overall?
Let's take a look.
Dylan's 60% isn't going to happen.
Let's see. Dylan is 79, 81-4.
Ooh. Is Jay beating him?
Yeah, Jay's at 83 at 77.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. How many?
Untouchable Jay's at 83 wins, and Dylan's at 79.
Ah.
Yeah, Mickey is behind at the moment. 78 wins. The Live OU's 40.5, but the over's minus 251.
Lines are so weird.
Yeah, they are.
Jeez. It's like a mistake I realized I made in like evaluating quarterbacks.
What?
Like, he had one of the best, most accurate passing, like most accurate. He's one of the most accurate short and medium passers that I've ever seen. Like in the preseason and some of his college tape, Daniel Jones. But like, everybody looks good when they don't have pressure. You know what I mean? Like, what does it matter?
Yeah.
He gets pressure on every play, but most quarterbacks do. So that's where it matters. It's kind of like the Carson Wentz. I like that. I've been using that term now that I learned from Mickey. Crisis plays. And that's such a big... Crisis plays are like 8% of your game, right? And if you're really bad in that, like, sorry, it's hard to win.
Yeah. And that's why I think, like, guys, we consistently talk about, like, Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. Like, think about how many, like, plays they just made out of nothing.
You know, and, like, you can say what people are trashing Russell Wilson now. They seem to forget, like, a top 5 player in the league for, like, 8 years. Like pretty easy to let that go,
Yeah.
Holy smokes, Vita Vea's a big man. Like you're punting.
Yeah. I was just thinking the same thing.
Like,
The
just give up, man. Just literally give up. Play like prevent defense and let them run all over you.
It looks like Gabbert's coming into the game. It's kind of like the when we talk about the combine. Like John Ross is super fast, right? It's the same thing with like Barkley was a freak athlete in college, and we see it now with Daniel Jones. Like Daniel Jones, as far as an arm talent, is one of the most talented
Yeah.
throwers of the ball.
To put it simply, yes.
Like if it was like one of those like all-star skill competitions where the quarterback has to throw it through a tire, 40 yards down the field.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like he might be the guy that, is favored,
picked.
or, Marquise Goodwin, one of the best sprinters, who's winning
world.
stuff between football players during the off season on sprinting type stuff. But like, it's just interesting, like what ends up translating to being a good football player or being put in a good situation. Wow, very sexual picture of Mike Evans they've put up for all of us to enjoy.
Who wouldn't enjoy this?
It's fun for a lot of these divisions to be so close.
Yeah, I don't remember this much parity, which is great. Jay lining up the scenario.
This definitely has like a Pro Bowl feel to it now. This game, it does.
This has been bad. This has been a bad game.
Look at the defenders. Like, just look at the just general body language of the defense right now.
Well, they're like, I don't want to get hurt.
Yeah, we're getting into the. Oh, and there's a sack. Just gonna say this is gonna be Kenny Galladay's time to shine because now everyone's playing at the same pace he is.
Yeah. Who are these guys? These guys are special teamers playing defense.
It's so weird to watch. Like, now they're going for it. Oh my goodness! Like, what's going? Like, 5 minutes goes. Like, it's like the last 5 minutes of the game, and then the coach goes, "Oh, we need to win."
Yeah.
Just
And look, and look at the guys they have going. They have the literally the scrubs.
Yeah.
On the Bucks, just dominating.
And then limited pocket awareness from Daniel Jones. He didn't fumble at this game, which was nice.
You are really trying to draw a silver lining here, Big Rye. Mickey, ever the cynic.
Mickey starting to feel good about that. The second half bet. What I really don't get is, like, do you think the Giants are going to use their timeouts to stop the clock sometime in this last 3 minutes?
No, none. The thing is, though, is like none of it makes sense. Like they don't have any consistency in anything. Jethro still has 3 turnovers. Oh, they need a whole new coaching staff. Man, 75 looks big. It's Danny Shelton. He is big.
That coach talking to the offensive lineman, it was like, it looked like one of those, like, you realize we're all going. Like, they're not just going to replace you. Like, they're replacing me, too. That's what it looked like he was saying. All, like, hyperbolic from me, but
like, I almost fell asleep live streaming. This game was brutal, man. I hate this goat garbage. I hate it.
I'm indifferent.
You know what I always think about? Like, I always say the argument whenever I hear guys at like a party or whatever. Party might be a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, real
gathering.
socialite. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, this guy's the greatest player ever. I'm like, you think he sits around and thinks about that? Other than Michael Jordan, he's probably the only guy that actually does. Like, I doubt Wayne Gretzky sits at home and talks about how he's the greatest hockey player ever.
He was just on a podcast with Charles Barkley and Ernie Johnson, and I listened and watched, and pretty much he went, Wayne Gretzky essentially said, like, he doesn't get what this GOAT thing is. Like, he didn't even know what they were talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like, I don't know if he was saying it on the show or if he was just essentially saying, like, I don't get where this... He's like, this just started recently, right? And they're just like, yeah. I think Gretzky was, like, actually very, very humble about it. Like, pretty much said there's been lots of great players and lots of great players now, and he essentially said it's like completely unfair to compare like newer players to, you know, him or
The only thing about him though is he might be so um uh comfortable in that like he's on an island by himself. The only guy who's what even remotely comparable is like Bobby Orr.
yeah.
So like he probably would, you know what I mean?
Well, there's a chance that Ovechkin could pass his goals records, which is
Okay.
pretty crazy. And Gretzky essentially said like he was the beneficiary of just playing in like the perfect like era.
Yeah.
Like essentially saying like all his numbers are inflated, or at least compared to like how hockey's played now. And he talked about how he like there's this like phenom that's like a 14-year-old kid, and Gretzky said he already like reached out to him and talked to him, because essentially saying like it can be a very, very tough transition, especially if like you start getting compared to, you know, him, like Gretzky.
Yeah. Well, Gretzky married a model in Janet Jones. That would help. Yeah, his daughter's an all-timer, that's for sure. It's not.
Yeah. And I think she's getting married or married to one of the
Dustin
most famous
Johnson.
golfers. Yeah.
She has 2 kids with him, so it's not like
Yeah. And I don't know, Gretzky made it sound like it's a lot of fun having a like, I think he thinks that the golfer is like more famous than he is in a way.
Yeah.
Like it's
well,
one
it
of
might
those
be.
he might be like it's golf's much more of a world renowned sport than hockey is.
Dustin Johnson's a little bit of a partier, or he was at least.
I could believe that. I'm
He
sure
tested
like
positive for cocaine on a golf tour. Like that's hard to do.
yeah, it's
Imagine.
happened to all of us.
Dude, look at Blaine Gabbert get the W.
So the Giants didn't use their timeouts. I prefer they not, but like I always find it funny when a coach just like all of a sudden decides to.
Yeah, like out of nowhere you want to win. Dude, is that Tommy Moore? It is.
Oh, it is.
How
Oh,
old
wow.
is that guy?
I'll find out. Oh, it pulls up the drummer. Born in 1938, so you can do the math.
Holy smokes. It's 20.
83. Consultant.
To be honest, that guy's probably worked with more quarterbacks than, like, more successful quarterbacks in more situations than probably anybody.
4-time Super Bowl champion.
All right, let's call it. That was one of the worst games. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry about the props, Jay. I am. I want you guys to win. That's why I don't like it when you pick high juice things.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you guys on the Discord.